After leaving Honfleur via Le Havre, we arrived in Paris, where Sue and John went on their own adventure, and Kath and I headed to our little apartment for the next 5 nights on Ile Saint-Louis, right in the heart of Paris. All right, here's our little place in Ile Saint-Louis in Paris, our last stop on this great trip that we've been having. So here's the downstairs with the kitchen and a nice little living room, TV and couch. Catherine's enjoying herself there. And as we go up the stairs, the very exciting stairs, because they are rather steep and twisty, but that's okay. We haven't killed ourselves yet. And takes us to the bedroom up here. So it's a nice bedroom, comfortable bed, nice views out into the street. And then there is a bathroom, which is great except for the big concrete ledge above the toilet and the shower that you have to watch out for so you don't prang your head. But anyways, it's a beautiful place and we're happy to be staying here. After a stressful and exciting day, we went for a very late lunch of charcuterie, frites, and a tomato salad, along with a beer at La Briserie de l'Île Saint-Louis, and sipped, snacked, and people watched. Then we made our way back, feeling pretty tired, and had a little wine and some snacks for dinner, cheese, crackers, and tomatoes. We went for a nice walk in the evening, wandering by the banks of the Seine, where tons of young people drank, ate, and enjoyed themselves. When we got back to our apartment, we noticed a discreet, swingers club next door to our building, but despite our peeking through the window, saw nothing the entire time we were in Paris. There's something magical about waking up in Paris. Today, after I woke up, I walked to one of our local boulangeries and purchased a croissant and a coffee. After the caffeine hit, we made the 3-minute walk to Notre Dame. When we visited Paris in 2019, we left just 2 weeks before the fire that burned Notre Dame's roof. Last time we were in Paris, it was under construction and no one could see it. This time, it was open and it looked beautiful. I'm not sure if it's the new roof or some of the other parts of the reconstruction efforts, but the inside seems much brighter and more illuminated than it was before. At one point, Kath lit an electric candle. Good to see that the Catholic Church is trying to keep up with the times. After Notre Dame, we used an app called Le Walk, which is highly recommended, to take a historic walk around Le Marais. During the first part, we saw the remnants of the city wall, a plaque commemorating a member of the French Resistance, the Hôtel de Sully, the Place de Vosges, and the Church of St. Paul Saint-Louis, including a painting by Delacroix. Before we took a break, we also saw a copy of a medieval carving showing the location of a knife sharpening shop. We then decided to take a break and stopped at the Caviari Deli for an excellent coffee and baked piroshki. Then we continued our delightful tour, seeing Paris's oldest houses from the 15th century, the Jewish section, Rue de Roses, a park with a heartbreaking memorial to little children taken and murdered by the Nazis, and the Natural Archives. We continue to wander, seeing a variety of other sites.
J'ai peur qu'il rentre à l'intérieur. Ça, c'est des envoyés de la Chine. Oui, oui.
Afterwards, we stopped at a boulangerie for a sandwich and frite that we took back to our little apartment. After lunch, we had a bit of a siesta and then went for a wander around Le Marais as well as the 3rd arrondissement, as Kath was looking for some items to purchase. After the grueling shopping quest, I was rewarded with a pastis at La Petite Place Marais, while Kath had a Saint-Germain spritz. For dinner, we went to a lovely restaurant nearby called Les Fous de Lille, where I had escargot to start and Kath had mayonnaise eggs. We both had the daily special, roasted lamb chops with frite, which was outstanding. We returned home for a glass of wine or a cup of tea and relaxed after a busy day, almost 25,000 steps. Today we got up, had our breakfast, and then made our way to the Musée d'Orsay. The museum covers art from 1848 to 1914. It's hard to believe all these works were once part of the Louvre. There were so many wonderful artworks. A study for the Statue of Liberty, statues by Cavelier and Pradier, paintings by Jean Ingres, Oxen by Bonheur, groundbreaking paintings by Courbet, including The Origin of the World that I have unfortunately censored. One of the things that artists like Courbet were trying to do was rebel against the strict code of acceptable paintings established by the French Academy. This rebellion and controversy paved the way for Impressionism. Very famous paintings, some a bit disturbing, like this picnic where the men are clothed and the women are naked, by Edward Manet. A great Roman decadence painting by Couture. There was a great view of Montmartre in the distance from a window of the museum, famous as a place where many of these artists worked and shared their ideas. An homage to Delacroix by Fantin Latour. These glorious paintings by Claude Monet, the colors and brushstrokes were so revolutionary. a portrait of Renoir by Monet, Paintings Using Light by Renoir, Landscapes by Sisley, A Winter Scene by Caillebotte, many diverse paintings by Gauguin, dance-inspired paintings and a sculpture by Degas, scenes by Pesero, Impressionist work by Cézanne and Morisot, a woman in this otherwise manly group. Such wonderful paintings by Van Gogh. I truly love his paintings, but I felt sad after viewing these. He was so prolific, but also unrecognized, and died by his own hand far too early. Perhaps his tortured life contributed to his artistic genius, but one wonders, what if he lived just a few years longer? Paintings by Cros, Luce, and Signac. Pointillism by Seurat. Landscapes by Lemont, Van Rieselberg, Bosch, Bernard, and Boldini. Sculptures by Rodin. Giant paintings, many on paper, by Toulouse-Lautrec. While Catherine perused the gift shop, I enjoyed these many Moulin Rouge style posters. So much fun. Then I saw the famous Whistler's Mother painting, which I find a bit meh. I finished off with a Courbet, which made sense as he was one of the artists that started our day. After visiting the Musée d'Orsay, we walked back towards our apartment and stopped at a boulangerie to pick up a sandwich and a drink. Then we found a secret little park to sit in the shade, enjoy our sandwich, and think about all of the masterpieces we had seen today. As we walked past a great view of Notre Dame, we decided to head back to the apartment for a well-deserved siesta, followed by some wine and cheese. C'est la vie. Tonight we went to one of our absolute favorite restaurants in Paris, Le Temps des Souris. It's a wonderful neighborhood restaurant, and we were last here in December of 2023. We were not disappointed with our return. We both had the salad with smoked duck, and we both had the sea bass to finish. Rare for us to order the same thing. We had a pichet of some lovely Sancerre wine. As we walked home, I pinched myself a few times, thinking how lucky we were to be in my very favorite city in the world once again. This morning, we went to one of our favorite markets, Le Marché Couvert Beauvau, which is east of the Bastille Monument. As we were leaving soon, we didn't actually buy anything, but loved looking at all the produce, cheese, meats, and other tasty stuff. We did go to the Au Merveilleux de Fred for their delicious filled waffles, rum-flavored, before setting out to Père Lachaise Cimetière for a stroll around the graves. There were very cool grave enclosures, and people can lease the space for 30, 50, or 99 years. The large house-like tomb belongs to Heloise and Abelard. They were a medieval teacher and student who fell in love. Unfortunately, Heloise's uncle found out about it and had Abelard castrated. He became a monk and she became a nun, but they continued to write love letters to each other until they died, he in 1142 and she in 1164. They were buried in different places. When they opened Père Lachaise Cimetière in 1804, it wasn't that popular, so in 1817, they reunited the two lovers and buried them in the newish cemetery. The grave with all the flowers belongs to Chopin. I continued my tour of Cimetière Père Lachaise with a stop at Jim Morrison's grave, including the tree that people stick gum on by his grave as an offering. The next grave was a tribute to a professor who was an expert on Egyptian obelisks. The grave with the green head is dedicated to the father of homeopathy. A double grave shows La Fontaine and Molière, two famous French writers who were reinterred here. The guy lying down is rubbed by women for luck and fertility. You can see the shiny nose, mouth, and, well, Oscar Wilde has a striking grave, surrounded by glass to protect the stone from all the lipstick kisses it gets every day. Incidentally, the statue on top of the grave had a penis, but two Victorian ladies were so upset by it that one fainted and the other one knocked it off with an umbrella. Apparently, the severed member was used as a paperweight for many years after by the cemetery staff. Talk about a cock-up. After my tour of the cemetery, we had another wonderful wander around Paris. We bought sandwiches at a boulangerie and enjoyed them in another lovely park. Paris is full of them. It was a hot day, so we stopped for a beer at Café de Fer and made our way back to our apartment and enjoyed some rosé while we chatted about the day. After a siesta, we went out for a nice dinner at a nice restaurant at l'Auberge de la Reine Blanche on Ile Saint-Louis, where I had escargot and beef bourguignon, and Kath had onion soup followed by a really tasty chicken dish. After that, Kath had a beautiful ice cream at Amarino Gelato, and then we wended our way home for the night. Today was our last day in Paris before heading back to Canada. We took the extremely hot metro on an extremely hot and muggy day in Paris and went to Montmartre to check out Paris's second oldest church, Église Saint-Pierre de Montmartre. It's right beside Sacré-Cœur, which we've seen before and was chock-a-block full of tourists. I particularly liked the Notre Dame de Montmartre statue, the stained glass, and the statue of the bishop holding his head. It's actually a 3rd century martyr called Saint Denis who was decapitated because of his faith. After spotting a restaurant named for Catherine in Montmartre, we took the metro back to Le Marais and did the Le Walk tour called Mischief, Mistresses, and Murder in the Marais. There were lots of good, juicy, sneaky, and violent stories. In one, Marie-Madeleine d'Aubray poisoned her father and 2 brothers to achieve power. She was only discovered when she accidentally poisoned her lover as well. Lunch was a tasty beer with a tomato and burrata salad that was cool, delicious, and perfect for such a warm and muggy day. After our tour and some shopping, we cooled off at our apartment and possibly had a beer. For dinner tonight, we walked to the 10th, about 40 minutes, in hot, muggy weather until we arrived at another favorite restaurant, Bouillon Julien. A bouillon is a funky place, kind of like Art Deco or even Belle Epoque, that serves tasty food that is not terribly complex for a very affordable price. I had a rabbit terrine to start with, while Kath had avocado cubes with prawns and cocktail sauce. For the main, I had a duck fillet, while Kath had a grand salad with chicken. We shared a creme brulee for dessert, and I had a jet 27 for a digestif. It was rather minty and looked a lot like Scope. It's a fun place, not at all pretentious, and we thoroughly enjoyed the meal. Afterwards, we took our last long walk in Paris and headed back to our apartment and packed most of our stuff. We have had such a memorable holiday. I am looking forward to coming home. Part of me wants to head down to Gare de Lyon and get on another train.